Welcome to Dryson Learns Things. I am Dryson, and today I'm talking to Lee Smalt. I actually never confirmed. Is that how you pronounce your last name?
Yep.
Smalt. Perfect. And we're talking about a brewing campaign you worked on, a video campaign to help sell out tickets from an online platform where you didn't really get the vanity metrics. You didn't really care about them, but the end results were fantastic. Uh, Set the scene for me real quick, like one or two sentences. Set the scene for me.
In 2016, I joined Fargo Brewing Company as their digital marketing manager. The role was really focused on a lot of social media management. I built a website for them, an online store, just kind of an end-to-end, trying to figure out what their digital marketing needs were. And it's a brewery, so they've got small budgets. Um, Early on, we advised about video production folded into their content strategy, specifically behind the scenes footage, and just kind of like helping audiences connect directly to Fargo Brewing and the team and the story as a whole, just kind of giving them a reason to care about the organization.
Absolutely. And so here's what I really want to dive into because we were talking just before the show, bringing me up to speed on what the campaign was. But what I love about it was that the social media, the metrics themselves, were terrible. Talk to me about that.
What it was we had a campaign. So, of course, being a brewery, they put out beers on a regular basis for beer releases. A lot of times those were paired with events. And on New Year's Day, they hosted an annual event with a coffee stout that they would put out. It was a
I'm a
partnership
sucker
with
for a
a
good coffee stout.
it was a partnership with a roastery here, actually, in the town I live in now, Fergus Falls. And they also partnered with a local restaurant to put out a brunch. And so the event was a beer release and a brunch, and you got tickets, and it was kind of come as you please sort of thing. Usually they sold about 300 tickets. Excuse me. This year I advised, or this specific year, I advised them to put together a video campaign. They encouraged me to go forward and do it. So I came here to Fergus Falls and I shot some behind the scenes footage with the roastery. I shot some behind the scenes footage with the brewery and made this long form video that showed this visual storytelling of this parallel production process and just kind of made sure the theme really fit that brunch and like waking up and kind of like trying to show that this is a process and you can kind of be part of the story. So we created three pieces of content out of it, the long form video, and then cut down two other pieces of video with call to actions and links to the event. However, the content did not perform well. So normally, all of their content, which was mostly lifestyle photos, a little bit of product photography, all of that stuff got about an average of 1,000 impressions, right around 1 to 1.5% engagement rates on a regular basis.
So
However,
right
with
there,
yeah,
at that moment in time when you had that low impressions, you said, hey, let's try something new. You've not really done video in the past. You put it out in the world, and like the metrics aren't working. How did you feel in that moment?
it definitely felt like it was not successful. It was a learning experience. I think that I had high expectations, being that video is supposed to perform really well on social media. Um, Looking back, it was definitely, I learned that having a lot of value placed on what the vanity metrics look like isn't really a recipe for success. You can have all of the metrics that you want, but until you tie that to a direct conversion point, it really doesn't help you make any decisions about the business.
Absolutely. So we have terrible metrics. We have terrible vanity metrics. Tell me about the results of the campaign.
The results of the campaign were that we actually sold out that event that year. Normally, there's about 300 tickets sold. We sold about 500 tickets that year. So, pretty significant increase in turnout. But the metrics didn't reflect that. The videos performed really poorly, like worse than their standard content did. Some of the videos had zero engagement on it. We didn't really get any ticket sales that we could directly correlate to the video that I had done. However, what it did do was raise sort of a larger awareness about this event. And who knows what other social factors went into play? People were more available, they had more money. Who knows what other sort of elements were part of that situation? But story short is that we sold out that event, which we totally did not expect. You can't really look at your metrics and assume that that's a massive indicator for what your success rate is going to look like. So
Yeah, well, I mean, considering you guys had like a 66% increase on sales, like that's not just a social factor. Something actually worked. There was enough interest and intrigue. What I'm interested by in this case, because you actually had a little mini story, because the festival or the event was about this new coffee beer being released, and you didn't just say like, "Come on down to the festival, it's going to be great," but instead, like you went and you showed the beans being roasted. You did the background of like the brewery making the stuff to build that hype, that interest, that intrigue to help drive that sale. I am curious, since learning this and going through this expertise, how have you applied that to other campaigns you've worked on since then?
Um, I really try to make sure that if we're going to be tracking metrics, that those metrics are directly tied to business goals. Um, if we're going to put up social media post, we're going to make sure that we have direct links to whatever the end result is that we're looking for. Um, Outside of that, have a lot of conversations with decision makers, with high level leadership, and of course they're very interested in like how many followers they have, how many people are sharing their content, and I really try to advocate for like keep all of that as like, yeah, it's great to know, but like it's a grain of salt. Like there's not any information in there that can help you make large scale decisions unless you tie that in with sort of your larger marketing goals and figuring out what you actually want to do with a specific campaign, because tracking followers, tracking engagement, it's just vanity in the end. It's just how popular am I at the moment, and that doesn't really help you with a direct business goal in the end.
And the end goal is always a conversion, a sale. How do we actually make money from these videos we're actually doing? And I think, I mean, just I talk about this a lot, being the customer journey, taking somebody from I don't know you exist to now I know you exist, but that doesn't mean I like you. So then I've got to make you like me. But because you like me doesn't mean you trust me yet. So we've got to build trust, and then we've got to educate about what the products are, and like filling in all these gaps in that customer journey just builds for a better experience. So like when you make a video and you send someone to a landing page, yes, that gives you a metric you can track how many people landed on that landing page. But now it's also a more seamless experience for the user, as opposed to pointing someone to your homepage and now they've got to go find that information. And
Yeah.
so it's really a double impactful thing where it's a better experience and you're getting better data as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, I definitely encourage, leadership teams to look at social media primarily as a brand awareness tool. You can definitely use it for conversions in specific situations, but overall, it is really the very top of that sales funnel for the most part.
100%, 100%, I agree. And I think that's a great place to wrap up our conversation today. So, Lee, thank you so much for being on the show. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Always great talking to you.
Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. And if anybody is listening to this, please know that today's episode is sponsored by the Discovery Workshop from Made by Things, where it's your content. Like we dive in, we try to figure out what are those missing pieces of content you need to help make a better brand campaign. So take a look at that at madebythings.com/discovery. That's it for today. Lee, thank you, and we'll talk to you soon. Dryson Learns Things is brought to you by the Discovery Workshop from Made by Things. If you are looking for a content partner to help you brainstorm, set goals, and create content that truly resonates with your audience, check us out at madebythings.com/discovery.